Hello, my name is Ethan, and welcome back to another episode of Path of Exile 3.16 Scourge League. In this episode, we're going over Uber Blight. They announced it, they leaked it, they showed it. It was on Twitter. And then they also released Part 2, which is Core Character Defenses and Recovery. Alright, let's get into the Blight. Okay, so on Twitter, Path of Exile tweeted out, Blight-Ravaged maps can drop from blighted maps in Scourge League. Oh my god, so that's how we're going to get the new Uber Blight map. So this is the new Uber Blight map. So you see like item level 83, tier 16, but when you actually look at it, then it says monster level 85. 9 times it can be anointed, and 20% increased monster move speed, 200% more monster life. That's a lot. And then we also notice all these Annoints at the top. So I've wrote down all of the Annoints. Like 9 Annoints. I've wrote them all down. But I also wanted to go back to this for a second. Does Lucky affect this drop rate of Blight Ravaged maps? Because recently they added this new oil, Tainted Oil. And we had to corrupt our maps, and then you could get Tainted Oil, and it's like a 1 in 50. You have to do like 50 maps to get one. So I'm just wondering, like, can we Lucky to affect this using like Crimson or Azure or Opalescent? Can we, is this from the chest or is it from the loot explosion? Should we run Teal for faster Blight maps to get more Blight Ravage maps if the Lucky doesn't work? Like, what is going to be the strategy for farming? Okay, we just started. It's not even out yet. I know. Okay, this is the Scourge map. So the main thing to look at is monster level 85 and can be anointed 9 times. So then you start to think about all of the Anoints and all the oils and the combinations, and even they show here, look, combination of 30 more Blight chests. Are Lucky, the 20% more tower damage, chests having an additional reward, cost of towers, and additional bosses. So then I wrote them all down. You could have 90% reduced monster move speed with 45 pack size. All of them have 45 pack size, so I'm not going to repeat it. But you could have 180% more tower damage, 180% reduced tower cost, 315% increased XP gain. What are these numbers? Oh, this one's the craziest. This probably breaks the game, and we don't know how that's going to work. 360-second shorter Blight map. So it's 6 minutes shorter. A Blight map is only 5 minutes, meaning do you automatically win the Blight map because it instantly ends? All the monsters spawn, and you instantly win because they can't get to the pump. So they spawn 225% faster. And pack size. Azure Oil, 36 Lucky Chest. 36 Lucky Chests. Indigo Oil, 27 Blight bosses. Who wants a Badge of the Brotherhood? Badge of the Brotherhood for you. Badge of the Brotherhood for you. Violet Oil, 180% lanes have additional chests. So it's 100% of lanes. 180% that a lane has an additional chest. So lane will have 1.8 chests extra. 90 Lucky chests. That's so many Lucky chests. That's the Crimson. That's what we normally do on T16. So that's... yeah, we do 3. So we get the 30. But now 90 on one of these Uber Blights. What the fuck? Triple. That's triple the oils, guys. Black Oil. 54% Blight chest additional reward. Opalescent. 135 Lucky chests. Silver Oil. 585 quant. Gold Oil, 225 Blight chest additional reward. So now, there's some other stuff. I'll mention Caps for this. Caps mentioned that he thinks that potentially, because there's a couple things. Somebody on Reddit posted it, and I also said something. But they put random Annoints. How do we anoint 9 times when we can only anoint 3 in our stash? Maybe they update it, but this is where he was going with it. Maybe it drops anointed, and maybe you can't anoint it, so you can't do these combinations. So you can't do the teal, and you can't do... yeah. But then these will be really, really juicy. And actually, in some of these cases, combining Lucky chests with additional reward, Blight chest having additional reward with quantity, might not be that bad. Quant's not great because it adds extra chests, which won't be lucky because you only have a limited amount of lucky chests. So it's kind of lucky chests, and the Blight chest having additional rewards. So like lucky plus gold. So if you wanted like the craziest thing, opalescent gold oil maybe. Instead of just opalescent, there might be a combination where you actually have a higher min max with both. Like you'll get more loot and more lucky chests overall with like a combination, probably like where each additional opalescent oil isn't you just because the percentage, it's percentage and flat. So I think that there's a min max, there's going to be a way to min max this in the end, which is really cool. And then maybe a budget version, which would be like Azure and Violet, no, black oil. So crimson, black oil, which is what we've done before, 2 crimson, 1 black. So maybe 1 or 2 opalescent and a gold oil. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm really fucking excited to AFK to AFK Blight Ravaged Blight maps, but also this buffs regular Blight maps because you can get this from it. Like you're literally doing Blight maps now and you are looking forward to this. So then, because we now know that Blight maps can drop from the Blight Ravage maps can drop from Blight maps, I'm just going to throw it out there that Chayula Flawless Breachstone drops from the Pure. And maybe we drop a Uber Simulacrum from Simulacrum, and maybe we drop an Uber Legion from the 5-way only. Like, that's pretty cool. Or maybe higher chance on the 5-way. Maybe you can still get on the 4-way, but this is really sick. Okay, let's get into the balance of defense section of this now. So they made a really amazing post with, again, problem solution. I wrote down bullet points to do this presentation. So now I want to do this PowerPoint presentation with you guys. So let's start it off. This first point, spell suppression. What is it? They basically added this new thing that makes it so you can get a chance to suppress a spell, and if a spell is suppressed, it deals half damage. So you can get the chance to 100%, and then all spells will do half damage. That's really powerful. That's insane. That's consistent and strong. That seems really insane. You need then they also updated armor. They buffed a lot of shit, guys. It's just tons and tons of buffs. So many buffs. There are some nerfs to compensate for the buffs, because some of it, if it was left unchecked, definitely would have caused problems. And so it's a really good change all around. You need 5 times the damage as armor, where previously it required 10. So they literally doubled the effectiveness of armor. Wow! Increase the strength of modifiers on gear that add base local armor. Easy. Armor provided by base types can now be up to 10% higher. So like Astral Plate, instead of 800, 880. Jesus! Determination now has been buffed to provide both a flat and the more. So the flat at 20, 2,051 with the 50% more, 3,000. That's like an old granite flask on all the time with what? Okay. New suffix modifiers have been added to all armor base, body armor, and shields that provide up to 8% additional phys damage reduction on each slot. Only body armor and shield. So this used to be 4. So 8's amazing. I used to use the 4 if I got lucky. We've done it before, we've gotten lucky, but you don't always get it. It's just a bonus. New suffix modifiers have been added to all armor base gloves, helmets, and boots that provide increased life regeneration rate. This works as a multiplier to your life regeneration value. It's so cool. New suffix modifier. Pretty nice to look forward to that. So yeah, you can increase life regen rate. They're changing it. They want to move away from life recovery rate, where it covers everything, and they wanted to make it more specific, so then they can balance it all better. And make more support for each individual thing instead of it being this generic. Remove attack dodge entirely. What? They removed attack dodge entirely. Substantially buffed evasion, so that's a good option to make sure it's easily available on items. They basically want you to get to 95% evasion by hitting some crazy evasion numbers. But then they also changed it, just like Armour. Evasion twice as good at high amounts. So they put out some number. It was like, instead of 49,000 evasion, you would only need 24,500 for the same effectiveness. It's literally half the amount. It's twice as good. It's just like Armour. Increase modifiers on gear that add base local evasion rating and smooth the progression of tiers. So all the stuff they did for Armour, they basically also did for evasion. And then they introduced the spell suppression on evasion items as the dexterity section of the skill tree, as well as the dexterity section of the passive skill tree, which gives a chance to have spell damage taken. The chance can be psyched up to 100% and convert existing sources of dodge and spell dodge to spell suppression or replace them with other bonuses. And then here we have acrobatics, completely changed. They also removed phase acro. Acrobatics, spell suppression converts at 50% rate to spell dodge. So basically, you could go 150% spell suppression and you get 75% spell dodge. They killed the Brass Dome. No, the Brass Dome unique is being redesigned to more properly embrace its identity of a high armor body armor, while not providing as extreme of a difference compared to a rare body armor with top tier armor modifiers. 5,000 armor too much? Damn. Shit. Add more maximum elemental resistances to areas of the passive tree that have armor in them. Soul of Steel. That's amazing. Nerf energy from Nut. So this gave 100 ES, now it's 60. That's huge. It's the small passive cluster for ES. People were stacking it apparently. I had used it one time, and I know people who have had used it, and I've looked at it, and I knew it was strong. I just didn't like using small passives, small clusters. I hate them because you give up a jewel socket and passive points. It's in a nerf veiled quality on energy shield, but buff energy shield on passive tree. Yeah. They don't like how you have to get the veiled quality on on a shield. Yeah. Base types are now generated with a random 0 to 10 higher base defense. Energy shield values on base types are 0 to 20 higher. Energy shield now recharges a base amount of 33% per second instead of 20. They also buffed Wicked Ward, so it has less ES recharge reduction thing. So it's only 40% reduction and instead of 50, so it's better because it doesn't have as big of a downside. And then there's more sources of faster start of ES recharge on the passive tree and crafted modifiers. More ES recharge rate. Increased maximum total energy shield recovery per second from leech has been improved on the passive skill tree, so energy shield leech is now stronger with investment. So this is support for Ghost Reaver and just energy shield leech in general, but Ghost Reaver making life leech into energy shield leech. Pretty cool. They also changed Ghost Reaver, making it so that you can't ES recharge, so you can't like combo Ghost Reaver life leech into Wicked Ward as well. They don't want you doing both. But if you were an ES leech build where you don't need Ghost Reaver, you could go Wicked Ward. So then they also said everyone gets Ghost Shroud. Every 2 seconds gain a Ghost Shroud, up to a maximum of 3. When hit, so this is the effect of a Trickster. They just took his Ascendancy and yeet. Now everyone has it. When hit, lose a Ghost Shroud and recover energy shield equal to a percentage of your evasion rating. Easy. So this makes people want to go evasion and energy shield builds because everyone has Ghost Shroud next season. What the hell? The Trickster Ascendancy will be changed as it no longer has the Ghost Stance. The new Keystone passive skill called Divine Shield. Percentage of total physical damage prevented from hits recently is regenerated as energy shield per second. This reminds me of the Juggernaut. But it's energy shield instead of life. And then it cannot recover energy shield to above armor. So you need high armor so that you can recover high energy shield. You don't need that much armor probably, but you need enough. Buffed flat life regen on gear and removed percent life regen on gear. So they said that they buffed the flat life regen, so it's more like a 2 or 3%. It's like the percent mod, but it's the flat. Yeah. And then it's based on character. So actually, it won't be like a percent, because if a character had like 11,000 life, I'm pretty sure that the percent is more. So it's actually, I don't know, it's a buff to it's a buff to low health characters and a nerf to high health characters. Yeah. New keystone passive skill added to the shadow area called Leth Shade. Takes 75% less damage over time if you've started taking damage over time in the past second. So can you like toggle your Righteous Fire on and off with, because there's a way to remove Righteous Fire, right? So you could like to make yourself not ignited anymore, and then you could technically toggle this on and off and use this keystone to technically take 75% less, right? I don't know if this actually works, but either way, this seems like a really, all these keystones are really, really powerful and seem really cool and are build defining. So kind of look forward to this. This one will be fun to try and see what you can do with it. Then they also said they're nerfing endurance charge stacking to get life regen, and they're also nerfing life recovery rate and high sources of life regen because it's boring. Shadow attackers passive tree gained life on hit, life on kill, and life leech, and a source of maximum total life recovery per second from life leech. They gave a lot of things for leech this patch, and more support for it. That's really cool. Whoops. Witch and Shadowcaster's passive tree gained life on kill and recouping a portion of damage taken as life. So that's pretty cool. We could use that. Versatile Combatant is now a keystone passive on the passive skill tree. Oh, this is crazy. So this is the Gladiator Ascendancy. They just took it and said, fuck you, and nerfed it a bit, but put it on the skill tree as a keystone. Grants 2% chance to block spell damage for each over-capped chance to block attack damage. It also grants minus 25 block attack damage, maximum block attack damage, and minus 25 to maximum chance to block spell. This means if you have 75 block attack, allocating this would make you have 50 attack block and 50 spell block. This is broken. Like, for the current game, before their changes, this is insane, because it was way easier to get attack block than spell block. There's been very little support for spell block, and every single source of, like, when you compare it, attack block versus spell block, the number is just bigger for attack block. You think of the roomies, everything. The only case is, like, I think Bone Offering, where it's equal. Oh, and, like, Tempest Shield. There's a few things, actually, that are equal, but most of them like to give you more attack block and say that and claim that it's easier. So now then you could convert this and you could get 50-50, and that's pretty cool. That's this, and then imagine this with glancing blows. You don't need like any attack block. It's actually insane. And then they also said more access to spell block has been added between the Templar and Witch sections of the passive skill tree. So yeah, buffing spell block too, which makes this less useful, because we needed this more before when we couldn't get spell block, but if we can get more spell block now, this will have more competition, so it'll make it less weird. Shields can get 16 attack block or 15 spell block from like the 8 or whatever, and 6 or 7. It's double. We'll be making further changes to passive skills and the life granted by Bone Offering. So then I pointed out to Caps that when I compared Spirit Offering to Bone Offering back in the day, Spirit Offering was like broken, like so much better than Bone Offering for a number of reasons. Like the amount it recovered, it only needed to be level 1. It didn't need to be level 20 to recover 600 health. It recovered 500 with no support. With support with the Shaper's Touch and the strength stacking and all that stuff, we could get the Spirit Offering to a 3,000 energy shield. It was disgusting. Bone Offering, the best we get is like 600 and the 5% life on recover on block shield, which requires a influence shield mod, and requires you to go a shield. And then I looked at the play rate of Bone Offering versus Flesh Offering, and it's actually lower, so maybe they'll buff Bone Offering so more people have more reason to go it. Pog, buffing defenses. Modifiers such as... They might nerf... Don't nerf it. Buff it. Modifiers such as chance to block projectile. Oh, yeah, they removed all these modifiers from the shield. Modifiers such as block projectile attack damage, chance to avoid stun, increased global physical damage, global elemental damage, global attack damage, flat mana gained on block, percentage life regen, and increased cast speed either felt out of place or generally did not have impactful values. These can no longer be obtained. Done. And then they also did this. New mods for shields. So they broke it down into armor, evasion, and energy shield. Reduced crit, 60. Wow. 8% phys reduction. 100 life gain on block. And can also be rolled on evasion shields, I think it said. Chance to suppress spell damage taken, 34%. That's cool. 480 accuracy. Can also roll on energy shield, I think it said. And strength armor. That one's really cool because it good for the armor or accuracy stacking. Faster start of energy shield up to 66. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. Increased crit strike chance with spells. Cool. And then they nerfed blind. Like, nerfed blind. Blinded now causes targets to have 20% less accuracy rating and evasion rating. This change makes it so blind is of no defensive help to characters who have no evasion, but helps if you do. Yeah, it's wow. And the evasion rating is is basically irrelevant for our minion builds because how we always take our minion builds to high levels. This is only relevant in the very early league start with skeletons when there is some accuracy thing, but after you get to your level stacking minions, you no longer have an accuracy issue with the skill tree that we do, and so evasion rating hasn't mattered on monsters for a little while. I think blind's a lot worse. But with the blind nerf, this changes Flesh and Stone, and so they said they changed the reservation of Flesh and Stone back to 25 because of the change to blind. So now we can use the Maim Flesh and Stone for 25 again, which is huge because that's more usable now, to be honest. Because the main thing people were using Flesh and Stone was for the blind, and now it takes it back to it throws it up into the air again, and we'll see what people use it for. But I'm going to theorycraft that I think people are going to use it more for the Maim damage, because that's still decent, and it's back to where it was, and people were using it before they nerfed it, so yeah. But the defense from the blind was too good at 35, and so yeah, this makes sense to reduce it to 25 if they nerf the blind. Nice, good change. And then they also said Tempest Shield has been reworked to become a 25 reservation effect that provides a large amount of spell block as well as immunity to shock. I used to use this in a trigger. It would give you like 14 seconds of Tempest Shield, which was like 3 spell block and 3 attack block. You could get an extra 1% with the alt quality version, but I guess now it's an aura. You can't just randomly trigger it with a wand or something. No free block. Damn. And the final one. They changed the Fortify mechanic so its effect is based on your melee damage. It's to avoid a system where every spellcaster wants to run shield charge to get Fortify at little cost. This is in the same patch where they buff shields. Because they know that if we're more incentivized to run shields, then it's free. And they don't want free Fortify. They wanted it to be a downside to have to run shield charge to get Fortify. Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense. That one's kind of shitty, but I get it. Because, like, shield charge, man. Isn't that the downside? That concludes part 2 of our 3.16 expansion balance changes. Tomorrow we'll share part 3, which covers our plans for auras, curses, and elemental damage over time. Please keep in mind, they've already shown actually some of the auras. They're more powerful, which means they've got something planned, and I'm scared. Please keep in mind, as we're several weeks away from launch, elements of what we've written here may change after further playtesting, feedback, and iteration. There's plenty more to discover in our upcoming reveal of Path of Exile, Scourge and its patch notes. See you tomorrow. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you guys enjoyed my presentation. This shit was a lot of fun to make, and it was a lot of fun to go through the balance changes, and also, dude, Uber Blight, and the way they give it to us, dropping it from the Blight maps, that's so good. That's so good, man. Oh my god. Jesus. And yeah, I'm looking forward to my 9 times golden oil video. Hopefully we can pick the oils. Hopefully. If it's random, I guess we can't do anything about it and it's whatever. And that'll still be really cool and I'll still look forward to it. But yeah, either way. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out. I'm going to take this opportunity to thank my Patreon, my YouTube members who financially support the channel. I can't do this without you guys, so thank you guys for all the support. And thank you to anyone new who joins the Patreon and the YouTube members today, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!